So hi, my name is Zac Sprackett. I'm the Chief Product Officer here at SugarCRM. And in this session, I'm going to walk you through the Sugar platform and highlight some exciting items from the Sugar roadmap. Now, we've got a lot to cover today, so let's get right into it. So things are getting a lot more complicated. We can all feel it. It's happening for businesses around the world. And let's face it, it's also happening for us as individuals as well. Technology is rapidly changing how we work. Just think about the meteoric rise of generative AI and ChatGPT. At the same time, customers are changing the rules of engagement. COVID has accelerated an even more dramatic shift of preferences for consumers towards digital channels. And many businesses are currently facing economic headwinds and uncertainty. But as things are getting more complicated, at SugarCRM, our job is to make things easier for our customers. And our mission is to let Sugar do the work, so your business can thrive in these turbulent times. With Sugar, you can automate almost anything and minimize a lot of the manual work. You can accelerate sales cycles and optimize service processes. And Sugar helps you to anticipate and predict what your customers need next and what to do next. Now, the Sugar platform is designed to support the end-to-end business processes throughout the entirety of the customer lifecycle, from generating leads to closing deals and to end-to-end service management. And our low-code platform allows customers the flexibility to easily and quickly adapt Sugar to their unique and evolving business needs. And this is true whether you're in our cloud or whether you're one of our many on-premise customers as well. Now, one thing that we've heard from talking to our customers in planning the Sugar Connected event is that a lot of things have changed at Sugar over the past few years. And many of those customers wanted to understand what's possible with the Sugar platform across marketing, sales, and service. So let's get started with marketing automation. I'm going to ask you to use your imagination a little bit today. And I'm going to walk you through how we use the Sugar platform at my fictitious company, Global Goals. At Global Goals, we sell soccer equipment to clubs around the world. Now, as you can imagine, soccer is a very historic and popular sport. And that means that there's a ton of different businesses that surround it. So imagine how challenging it is for us, an equipment manufacturer like Global Goals, to stand out from all of our competition. Well, one of the ways we stand out is by using Sugar Market to identify inbound prospects. And one tactic that we use is building landing pages and forms on our website. And we love the visual drag and drop tools that Sugar provides. It allows us to deliver engaging content quickly to our customers. Easily build forms, easily add images into those forms, and we can get it into the hands of our customers immediately. We also know that word of mouth and social campaigns are essential to marketing efforts. And Sugar lets me create campaigns that my entire company can share. Here's a campaign we created for the World Cup. And you can see that we were able to add all of the important tags. We create and schedule all of our social media posts. Now, it's important to understand that social marketing is a team sport. So how do you get your entire team on board? Well, we've got channels like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And we can control exactly which teams within our business can post the information and exactly when they can send it. I know you've all seen examples of other companies out there who've accidentally posted information to social media about signing up for an event that's already occurred in the past. This is a marketer's nightmare, but it's so easily preventable. And thanks to Sugar, we don't have that problem. Our social media game is on point. Now, one of the other keys to marketing automation is the ability to move a customer forward when they're discovering your brand. Giving them key information about Global Goals at the moment that they need it is essential. And one of the ways that we use that is by leveraging the visual nurture builder. Sometimes we get lists of leads, say from a trade show, and we want to check if a particular lead has taken an action. And when they do take that action, we want to let the appropriate BDR know about it. But how can I tell if the lead's on my target list? Well, here I'm using a conditional element to check automatically. And if they're not on my hot prospect list, I can route them through more nurture steps to warm them up gradually. Now, one of those nurture steps is to get them an industry report about the state of soccer equipment. This report is a key piece of collateral for us as it highlights why clubs trust Global Goals. And research shows that it can take 50 or more touches for a company before you close a sale with a customer. So think about that. That's 50 different opportunities for us to lose the deal, and only one opportunity for us to succeed. Nurture campaigns help to keep prospects moving through that funnel, ensuring that our brand stays top of mind throughout the buying process. And when the prospect does take the action that I want, our nurture routes the lead to the appropriate BDR. Now, for me, a marketer, this is a moment of trust. How can I know that the BDR is going to take action? Easy. The lead will, of course, end up in SugarCell, and all of the automation that we have around the customer journey is going to ensure that it gets picked up and handed to the appropriate BDR. Just like the beautiful game of soccer, we know that driving customer success is a team sport. At Global Goals, we depend on SugarMarket's lead scoring capabilities to help us to execute as a team. We use a mix of both AI and traditional scoring models. And we love that SugarMarket allows us to use multiple scoring models at the same time. We often need to use this capability when we're hosting events, and we have specific things that we want to see from those event goers. We can give people a score every time they hit a specific page on our website. Here, we're checking if they're viewing our World Cup page, and we're giving them 10 points. So that's a flyby of our marketing organization. But how does Sugar help the Global Goals sales organization? New day, new me. So now I'm a BDR, and I spend a decent chunk of my time in Outlook. And when I'm there, I still get all the power of Sugar. I get the benefits of data enrichment, names, contacts, details, and news right there in my inbox. So here I'm sending a cold outreach to a football coach who gave us his business card at a trade show. And I've got instant access to a wealth of information and news. And I didn't have to enter any of that information manually. I never have to leave my email client to create a lead in Sugar. And when the coach responds, Sugar helps with my calendar as well. I've got a scheduling wizard that knows my calendar, making it easy for him. Meetings are automatically synced to Sugar. No fuss, no muss. So much transactional work happens in my email, and Sugar makes that a lot easier for me. Now, when I'm not in my email client or on the go with my mobile device, I'm probably on the web. And this year, Sugar gave the user experience a serious overhaul. The whole platform got a new and consistent interface. And I'm way more productive thanks to that new layout. And reporting is so much easier as well. My dashboards are way cleaner, they're brighter, and they feel a lot more interactive. I can get things done with a lot less clicks. And the interface is set up to guide me throughout my day. Now, as a salesperson, I'm often working a list, and those lists also got a lot more visual this year. The tile view is an absolutely amazing way for me to interact with prospects, opportunities, tasks, or any other CRM object. And it's so much nicer to work in this visual drag and drop environment. And I particularly love how the tile view works with focus drawers. Focus drawers are an incredibly powerful way to interact with leads. In context, without losing my place, I can drill into Ted Lasso and see all kinds of important information about him. I can see exactly where Ted is in his journey, and I can take action to help move him forward. So here I updated the journey to make it clearer that we've had an introductory meeting and Ted knows that I'm his contact at Global Goals. Now things are looking really good with Ted. AFC Richmond seems like they're planning to introduce a new women's soccer club. And I can go ahead and convert the lead into an opportunity simply by dragging and dropping it. And the platform guides me through the process so I don't miss anything. I think this particular opportunity is going to close in October. Now, I had a great conversation with Ted. He mentioned that the team's going to need shoes and uniforms for sure. And I'm confident that we're going to be able to grow this opportunity further in the future. But let's document Ted's current needs quickly. We could save the opportunity and the lead is converted. Check. Simple. As a seller, I have a ton of different plates that I need to keep in the air at the same time. While I was working on that opportunity for Ted, I got a phone call from Ryan Peters. And Ryan was asking for some information about Global Goals. And right from within Sugar, I have a number of different options. I can send him marketing email templates that provide him with information. And this ensures that I deliver the right content in every single interaction. And it saves me time as a seller. And it makes my friends in marketing a lot happier because they've put in a lot of effort to A/B test these messages to make sure that they resonate with prospects, which is something that I don't even have to worry about. But in this case, instead of sending him a single email, I'm going to add Ryan into a nurture campaign. And again, I can do this right from within SugarCell. I can even choose a specific nurture step to start him on if that's appropriate. And doing this allows me to deliver a continuous stream of information to keep Ryan engaged. I've got so many different things that are on the go at the same time, and this is one less thing that I have to worry about. So now, a bit of time has passed, and I've been working on that opportunity with Ted over at AFC Richmond. We've progressed the deal to the point that I'm going to send him a quote, and I can pull up the opportunity in a focus drawer. Once there, I can use a configurable action button to send a quote in a single click. And the quote gets generated from a Word or PowerPoint template, which is something Sugar added recently and that our administrator loves. This makes it really easy for us to keep things fresh and clean, since we don't need to learn any new tools in order to make updates to the quote templates. I can also easily update the guided journey to let my colleagues know that Ted's got the final quote in hand. My manager is going to be so happy that this deal is moving along efficiently. And I have a particularly good feeling about this opportunity. But thankfully, I don't just need to rely on my gut. I'm also confident that this business is going to close thanks to my secret weapon. Sugar's AI has analyzed things and determined that deals that look like this opportunity with Ted close at almost 4 times our average win rate. Think about that. That's a huge margin of success. And we didn't know this kind of thing before Sugar told us about it. Digging in a bit, we can even gain more confidence, since Sugar's AI uses a variety of different sources in order to make this prediction. Those factors include things like data that exists within the CRM, activity and sales stage, those kinds of things. But it's also bolstered by data that Sugar provides, like firmographic and industry information. And these predictions help me to understand where to prioritize my time and how likely I am to be successful. Now, given all of this, I'm ready to include this deal in my forecast. My manager reviews my forecast and pipeline regularly in Sugar. So keeping my forecast up to date actually saves me a lot of time. Before we had Sugar, I had to meet with my manager a lot more frequently. But now we're on the same page, and our conversations are a lot more strategic. So that's a day in my life as a seller. You've seen how I reach prospects, how I work a deal, and how I forecast. But now, let's pivot over to my manager and see how he manages his sales team in Sugar. So managers have complete visibility into their sales team within Sugar. They can drill into the forecast at a team or at an individual level. So let's start by looking at my team. I can see my team quota and my current commitment. I can see the team's forecast. And the newly added metrics tab makes it really easy for me to see roll-ups of forecast included or excluded pipeline and won or lost business. And even better, each of these metrics tabs is also a filter. Clicking the included pipeline updates my list view to show me all of the opportunities that are currently marked as included for my team. And the pipeline metrics dashboard shows me some critical information about where we stand. The pipeline metrics show me quota coverage and current gap, and it also shows me exactly what still needs to be done this quarter. I can drill easily into my team's excluded pipeline by clicking on the filter tab. I still have the ability to apply all of my other filters as well. At Global Goals, we know that making a customer successful leads to future business. And I can easily look at just the upsell opportunities for existing customers. This deal at Buffs in the Buff has caught my attention. And I have a newer sales rep, Sally, who's been working on this deal. And I want to make sure that she's got all the tools that she needs in order to be successful. So drilling in, I can see exactly what's what. I could tell from the journey that the next step was for Sally to identify budget. And I could follow up with Sally to make sure that she's moving the deal forward effectively. But managing my forecast goes way beyond just expecting my pipeline. Sugar helps me understand all of the historical ebbs and flows of my business as well. Things that used to be hard, like comparing my forecast to previous quarters, are now incredibly easy. I've got waterfall graphs that highlight exactly what's happened to my pipeline over the past week. Where has the pipeline increased? Where have things decreased? And what exactly have we closed as won? Our sales operations team saves a bunch of time cranking out reports, since all of this was available to us out of the box. And I love that you can go from the high-level overview all the way down into the nitty-gritty details that make it up. Now, my team in sales, we are dependent on our friends in marketing. I can see the historical trend of pipeline creation. This makes it incredibly easy for us to spot problems and take action before it's too late. What gets measured gets managed. And today, We're able to run our business at Global Goals a lot more proactively in this regard than we ever have been previously. And when I do spot something that catches my eye, I can filter exactly down to what I want to see. So let's take a look at what's happening here in NA. Everything updates to the particular slice that I've chosen. I can quickly dissect all of the information and understand exactly what's going on. Interesting, but I want to see this in even more detail. No problem. I can see it full screen, and I can even apply more filters if I need to. For the first time, I feel like I actually have all the tools that I need in order to understand how my business is changing over time. It's incredibly powerful, and it all came pre-configured. I've got all kinds of useful trend analytics at my fingertips. I'm a very visual learner, and I need to see things in order to understand what's happening. And I can see what's happening to my average deal size over time. I can spot changes by region, and I can dig into fluctuations in my win rate. I know exactly how long it takes to turn a lead into an opportunity, or how long it takes to go from an opportunity and turn that into cash. I can see whether the programs we're putting in place are affecting things over time. This stuff is material to how we run our business. Now, one of our brand goals at Global Goals is to be easy to do business with. But as a manager, how do I know when that's not the case? Sugar's time-based analytics help me here as well. I can see which sales stages are bogging us down and make improvements. Here, I notice that I've got a couple of reps who seem to have a lot of deals in scope and proposal. Let's see what's going on. Maybe the reps might need some kind of assistance. Boom. Every opportunity in scope and proposal, color-coded by days and stage. Now this rep seems to have some aging deals in her pipeline that she keeps moving out. Seems worthy of a conversation. Possibly a coaching opportunity. Before we got Sugar, this kind of thing was nearly impossible for me to understand. Dead wood in the pipeline is a predictability killer, but sunlight is the best disinfectant, and my days just got a lot brighter. So there you have it. You've seen how I review my pipeline, how I forecast, how I analyze trends, and how I collaborate with my team. Next up, let's move along to customer service and support. One of the new things that we adopted in our business this year was Sugar's new self-service center. Global Goals customers access the support team through all kinds of different channels, some analog and some digital. Here's Ted Lasso again. He's raising a case in the self-service center. Uh-oh, looks like we got the wrong logo on those uniforms. Seems like we've got some work to do. As a support rep, I've got a lot of things to manage. I start my day with a dashboard that gives me the lay of the land. The UX is consistent with marketing and sales, so it's easy and intuitive, and I can see my priorities and my recent interactions. My cases are automatically organized by priority against the company SLA, and this greatly reduces my mental load and anxiety. Now, just like we saw in forecasting, I've got metrics tabs, so I can easily bounce between the different work queues that I need to interact with on a daily basis. So here we're looking at tickets that are currently assigned. Let's use the focus drawer to see exactly what's happening with Ted's case. As the agent, I need a ton of different information, and it's so much easier knowing exactly what AFC Richmond has purchased from Global Goals. I used to have to go to a completely different system in order to find this information, but now it's front and center. I've got tools to collaborate cross-functionally within my organization, and I've got all of the historical internal communications captured in one place. I feel empowered. Now we know we've got to make things right for Ted. So I'm going to go ahead and escalate this case. Escalating a case unlocks a whole wealth of other resources inside of Global Goals. And the customer experience is an important part of our brand. So the case is now escalated. And as I dig in, I notice that we've got more than one logo on file for AFC Richmond. So let's follow up with Ted to get the right logo and make sure that he knows that we're on it. So hey Ted, looks like we got more than one logo. Please confirm which one we should be using. Send this out, and boom, Ted's gonna get a notification, and knowing Ted, I'm sure he's gonna get back to us incredibly quickly. So once again, in the self-service portal, Ted can see all of his open cases. He can see which cases are waiting on him and which ones are waiting on the team to get more information. And in this case, he's going to update the case that we're working on. So Ted is able to upload the new logo via the File Explorer. But he could just as easily have done that by dragging and dropping it into the portal. And all of the files that are attached to this case, whether they're by Ted or by the support agent, show up in the sidebar for easy access. Now I, as the agent, get a notification, and I can see that the new logo has been provided in this case timeline. That's a pretty majestic logo. Now we know we've got to get this fixed, so let's get someone in fulfillment to be working on this. And again, we can leverage the comments log to sort of kick that process off. Now I'm also going to give Ted a call to make sure he knows that we've got this. I clicked a call directly from within the record, and just like that, I'm talking to Ted. And of course, the call is recorded and the transcript is saved. Sugar even uses sentiment analysis to help me steer the conversation in the right direction. The platform makes it easy to get my work done and ensure that the customer receives a positive outcome. So now you've seen how we at Global Goals support TED. Supporting customers is more than just upsell and case management, though. Another important aspect of supporting customers is managing data privacy, compliance, and consent, with GDPR and CCPA and all of the other privacy laws that we're all subject to. And Sugar offers a data privacy officer role which streamlines our compliance. I use it to manage all of these requests at Global Goals. Looks like Nathan Shelley wants his name changed to Nate the Great, which seems like a totally reasonable request. So we can take care of it right here with the inline edit capabilities inside of Sugar. Now that we've made the changes, let's go ahead and click Save. And once we're satisfied, we simply mark this request as completed, and we can move on to the next item in our queue. Interesting. Looks like Nate the Great is back. This guy can't seem to make up his mind. Seems like he's no longer with AFC Richmond, and now he'd like us to stop processing his information entirely. Now we know, because of the law, that we have to honor this request. But wait, he's been quite influential in a number of deals. In some cases, I think he even signed the contract. Won't deleting the record cause all kinds of data problems like referential integrity issues throughout the system? Not at all, because once again, Sugar's got us covered. I've got options. I can mark the whole record as deleted, or I can select specific fields containing personal information. So here we're going to choose the first name, last name, and a bunch of different phone numbers that exist on the record. And when we're satisfied, we can choose to go ahead and erase and complete. Sugar made this easy. All of the PII is wiped out, but the record is preserved. The integrity of our data remains intact. And better yet, we've got audit history that we can use as proof of compliance if we ever get audited in the future. Compliance couldn't get much easier. So here we are. As you can see, the Sugar platform has really evolved over the past year. In marketing, sales, and service, we're more productive and more collaborative than we've ever been previously. So I showed you a lot of different ways that Sugar can help you to run your business, from marketing campaigns to opportunity and pipeline management, to improvements in the agent workplace and self-service, enhancements to the timeline view, focus drawers, tile views, the new dashboards, as well as the reporting and UX refresh that harmonize the look and feel across the platform. Now let's move on to the second part of this session. Where are we going next? The large-scale adoption of technology has been driven by killer applications since the beginning of technological times. The internet really took off when Tim Berners-Lee invented the web. The cloud really caught fire with the invention of APIs and web services. MP3s existed, but they didn't really take off in the mainstream until the iPod and digital rights management made them approachable. And of course, mobile was cool and smartphones were innovative, but it wasn't until the introduction of the app stores that things really took off. So here we stand at an inflection point for AI, with the introduction of large language models and ChatGPT. ChatGPT has made AI accessible to the masses. It's that killer app that breaks through the adoption barriers. So who wants to see what this means for Sugar and for the customer experience? A common use case for marketers is building out email templates. And we've already got tools in Sugar to help you lay out those emails. But we've also got the power of generative AI that can help. Simply by entering in a subject line, we engage a large language model to generate the body of your email. Check it out. The email body's written, and it even selected some nice images for us. We can, of course, edit all the text if we want to, but the model did a pretty good job out of the gate. But what if we want to change the tone of the part of the message, perhaps to something a little bit more energetic? Well, we can simply choose that energetic tone from the dropdown. And the platform once again engages the large language model and generates some updated text. And once generated, I can review the text, and provided I'm happy with it, I can insert it back into the email that we've been working on. Easy peasy. Let the platform do the work. Keep the human in the loop. So show of hands. How many of you have been handed a new account with little to no information? I know I have. How challenging is it to get up to speed and have a productive conversation? And what about if you're already managing a number of different accounts? How do you stay on top of them all? We've leveraged generative AI to provide account insights. Here's an account overview generated by large language models that provides me details on this account. And I can ask Sugar questions about the account, and it's going to find me more information. Sugar even suggests some questions I might want to ask, like, what services does the hospital offer? I can get the information about the history of the business, but this isn't just the LLM talking. This is a hybrid of information that exists within Sugar, as well as information that the model has been trained on as well, and also firmographic information that Sugar provides, all blended together. Groovy. The firmographics tab, again, leverages the large language model to tell me details about the business in plain English, or frankly, in any other language. And again, this is a mix of information that the large language model knows, and the firmographic data that Sugar brings to the table. It's incredibly powerful stuff. The key context helped me orient myself around exactly who I should be engaging with at this account. And I've even got information on the hospital's key competitors. Imagine how long it would have taken me to gather all of this information manually. And imagine now having all of this together and how much that's going to help the customer's perception of me when I get on a call with them. I'm going to come across as a real business partner who really understands their business. Superpowers. But we're not done yet. I can even ask Sugar to help generate a call script for me. And the call script takes all of the information into account to help to steer me in the right direction, providing waypoints that I can use throughout the call. All of these tools are about saving time and improving outcomes for our customers. Cool, right? But what about reporting? Reporting can be super challenging. You almost need to know exactly what you're looking for in order to be able to find it. But that's not always possible. So why not just ask? What if you could just query the system and get an answer? And we're leveraging the power of large language models to interpret a question, like show me your open up escalations, and turn it into a valid query in Sugar. And we can do this without sending any data to the large language model. It simply gives us back the database query that we need to run. And we simply show you the results. Magic. But what else can we do with large language models? Well, it turns out they're also really good at summarizing information. If I'm a sales manager who needs to do a QBR, a quarterly business review with a customer, I need to know exactly what's going on. But I don't want to read through all the cases in order to figure out what's happening. I may not be qualified, I might not understand, it certainly isn't going to be oriented in a language that is really targeted at me. But smart summaries can really help me to understand the pulse of exactly what's going on with this customer. They distill all of that complexity into news that I can use. We're also working on different ways to access the power of large language models. Here's a chat-based interaction. If I have a gut feeling that there's an issue with one of our products, why not just ask the system to gather the information? Here we're asking for cases related to false alarms that have been raised in the past 2 years. Now combine that with the smart summaries that I just showed you, and we're really starting to cook with gas. We have a lot more generative AI use cases and ideas. And you can go check some of them out at the product experience section outside, and we've got a closed pilot that you're able to sign up for today to actually interact with these capabilities directly. We can't wait to get these into your hands. Now, another thing that customers ask us about when we're talking to them about generative AI is, how do you keep all of this information secure? And Sugar actually has a really great story there as well. We've built out this trusted data-enriched artificial intelligence layer. And this is something that we've been working on over time, and it extends our time-aware customer data platform in order to allow different hook points for interacting with these large language models. It starts with grounding. This is the idea of taking all of the information that exists within Sugar and in all of these different places and building out prompts. We don't believe that our users should have to be prompt engineers in order to take advantage of large language models. So the grounding layer is where we perform that service on their behalf. Next up is the masking layer. And this is the layer where we can actually look at the contents that are about to be sent to the large language model, and we can filter out things like personally identifiable information or company-specific information that maybe doesn't make sense to send over a large language model. The next piece is the large language model proxy layer. And this is where we can plug in multiple large language models and have the ability to adapt over time. Next up is the detection layer. This is where the information that comes back from the large language model can be scanned and looked at to see whether there's any problems with the results. And this is where we can do things like look for toxicity or potentially in the future catch things like hallucinations. And finally, the audit layer. This is where we plug all of this information together, looking at all of the different bits of information, where they were sourced from, what actually is sent over to the large language model, and then what is returned from the large language model, and then pairing that back with how the user rated the response. This allows us to build that sort of end-to-end loop in terms of how we're using this information for our customers. And at the Analyst Summit, the analysts were incredibly impressed because we're one of the few vendors that's actually talking about this part of the generative AI adoption issue. So we know that AI is going to be transformational to the user experience. And we want to create a platform that users love. But we also plan to evolve the user experience to continue our focus on just letting the platform do the work for our customers. And here you can see some ideas in that regard, applied in light mode and dark mode, as well as on a mobile device. And you'll note a few things in these. The prominence of pictures and visualizations, really about humanizing the experience. You'll note the actionable information about tasks and KPIs. You'll note the integrated weather and calendar information. And all of this is designed to encourage productivity for our users. And here are some ideas for how we're going to pull that design through the list views and focus drawer. Clean, fresh, modern, an application that people gravitate to, that they want to use on a daily basis in order to accomplish their jobs. And here's the AI virtual assistant concept. Ask for what you want, and the platform will do the work. Now, I often talk about this concept of CRM everywhere, bringing CRM to all of the different places that you already exist as users. Here, in your Outlook or your Gmail, people should be able to work in all of the places that they're most comfortable and productive. And here are omni-channel, CRM everywhere, generative AI, all coming together in your inbox. Smart summaries, transcripts, historical information, next best action, calls, emails, texts, and chats, all at your fingertips. It's amazing. CRM everywhere is about bringing CRM to all the places that people exist. And here's a concept, surfacing information in Zoom. Call sheets and playbooks, generated in Sugar and presented to the salesperson or the support agent directly in Zoom. We're building the platform that powers your success, and we don't take that responsibility lightly. I hope you're as excited about the future as I am. Thank you.